Mm. All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. It's Q. I'm here at home, and yeah, we are. This is going to be over two parts. This will be a two-part live stream because um, there's so much information that I want to share with you all, and I'm actually tired. I'm tired, but I'm here with you all. So much information I want to share. And some of the information I'll start getting a little not deep, but just showing you like examples of things. But yeah, and I was taking notes earlier, scribbling over all these pages, trying to take these notes so that I can stay streamlined as it pertains to the topic, right? So before I get into that, let me say hello to people who are here. CN1 is here. CS, hey lady. Mystery Moon, hey sexy RN. Okay. Earlier today, kind of talking about the astrology of March 2025. And listen, there are always things happening astrologically. How different astrological events affect you personally depends on where the event will be occurring for you in your own natal chart. So I'm just going to be talking about things very, very surface level because this is not, a personal transit reading or anything like that. But we're just going to talk in general, just overall, because like I said, there's always some things happening. And different people will be affected by things in different ways. Again, it depends on your placements and where events are happening in your astrological houses. So, hey Skater 75. So, hey Donna. So yeah, um, you probably have heard me mention it before in passing, but yeah, 2025 is touted to be a major year astrologically, right? Because there are so many planetary shifts occurring, not only planetary shifts, but we also have the nodes. They have regressed or they have moved into, because the nodes travel in reverse, they have moved into Pisces. The north node is in Pisces, the south node is in Virgo, okay, on that axis, right? So there's things are going to be happening. But March is really the beginning. March 2025 is really the beginning of so many things that's going to start shifting for the world, collectively and individually. Again, it just really depends on your placements, right? Hey Mons, hey Jam. So it really just depends on your placements. And I don't have like a slideshow or anything like that set up, but I've created some charts just so that you all can see some things. And I'll be pulling up, showing you like news stories and things like that, just so you can kind of understand the major scale as it pertains to things, right? So this month we have, in March 2025, there's going to be Venus is going to go retrograde. Mercury is going to go retrograde. So those are two personal planets. We're going to have a Virgo lunar eclipse. We're going to have an Aries solar eclipse, and Neptune will enter Aries. Neptune is an outer planet. Neptune is considered a planet as it pertains to modern astrology. Okay, traditional astrology does not really think about Neptune, Uranus, and Pluto. So, but being that this is a big thing, Neptune is going to enter Aries. We're going to talk about that. Okay. So this is really just something for you all to sit and kind of listen or kind of take notes. So, you can cook, you can get your evening going, just kind of listen and take notes. Um, like I said, this isn't going to be like a slideshow or a formal presentation. I did not have enough time to put together a formal presentation, since I got home, and I've been kind of tired and drained. Um, but yeah, so the first thing that is happening, and like I said, this is going to be part one. This is going to be part one. I'll probably do part two tomorrow. Okay, so let me bring up chart. Open. Excuse me, I'm going to have to sneeze. I feel it coming. Oh, excuse me. Okay. Let me, okay. Let me bring this chart in. And I'm just pulling in the chart, astrological chart. Okay. So, okay. The first thing that we're starting out with this month is Venus retrograde. Venus retrograde. And I'm going to try not to go into mad scientist mode explaining things, but we'll see how that goes. Okay. On March 1st at 4:36 p.m. Pacific time, Venus is going to go retrograde in Aries. Okay, what is retrograde? Retrograde is when a planet appears to move backwards in the sky. Okay, they're not moving backwards, but it just appears to move backwards. And as these planets move backwards, it's like a time for review, a time to revisit things. And as you're kicking up old dust, okay, sometimes when you kick up old dust, there are things that happen, or it makes you think about things, it makes you review things, it makes you try something new, you may figure out solutions, and as the old dust gets kicked up, there could be problems, but will solutions come out of those problems, right? Venus is going to retrograde in Aries. Venus is going to be at 10 degrees. So, as you can see here, this is Venus. This is Venus up here. Venus is at 10 degrees of Aries. Now, this is going to be interesting because Venus, again, is a personal planet. Aries is, that's energy associated with Mars. So you have feminine energy beginning to retrograde in a sign that is really, really aligned with action, adventure, passions, desires, and even fights, even chaos, right? So you have to check to see if you have any planets at 10 degrees in your personal chart. And you also have to check and see, you can go to astro.com and create this chart yourself. This will be 4:36 p.m. California time. It will be 7:36 p.m. Eastern time. So just, change the time for your time zone and, just overlay that on your natal chart to see where that will potentially impact you, what house this will potentially impact you. Okay. Venus will re-enter Pisces on March 27th. Okay. Venus will station direct at 24 degrees of Pisces on April 12th at 6:09 p.m. Pacific time. So you have Venus in Aries, retrograde in Aries. Venus is going to retrograde back, move backwards, slide into Pisces. Okay. Slide into Pisces and then station direct, start moving forward in Pisces on April 12th. So I want you all to just think about things. And this is really going to, for some people, not everyone, this may bring up themes of, you may be reflecting on your values. What do you value? What don't you value? You may be reflecting or think about your personal connections, your relationships with people. It may bring you to think about your creativity, how you work, how you create things. You may reflect on your worth, your personal worth. Do you feel valued in relationships? Do you feel valued at work? Do you feel valued among your peers? Do you feel valued in your community? What is your self-esteem like? This may bring you to think about your commitment. What are you committed to? Is it maybe time to let some things go and look for new dreams? Um, you may be thinking about your love life. You may be thinking about your love life. That's a thing. Money issues, your resources, your tangible resources, okay, and how that's at play. Um, and it's a retrograde, so sometimes it does kick up old exes. Sometimes it does. Now, the last time, and I'm gonna try not to go, like I said, too mad scientist. Every planet has a synodic cycle. Venus has a synodic cycle. And right now we're beginning a new cycle. So this is why this is so huge, because there's going to be a new cycle. Now, I want you all to think back to, if you can, 2017, March and April of 2017, if you can. Okay? Because this Venus retrograde cycle is pulling back, and it's energetically connecting to the Venus retrograde cycle of 2017. Because from March 4th, 2017, that was the last time Venus retrograded in Aries. Okay. You have to create your chart. You have to create your chart. And this is a great time for me to shamelessly plug. Um I will start offering birth chart astrological readings. So, in something like that, you will be able to see where these transits fall in your house. So, in order for you to create your natal chart, you need your exact time of birth, place, and date and time. So, for example, born May 15th, 1995 at 3:05 p.m. in Houston, Texas. Okay. Once that chart is created, that's your chart, and then we can overlay these transits on your chart to see where it falls in your specific houses and how that may affect you. Okay? Okay. So, um yeah, letting go of things that may not serve you, right? Hey, Nicole. It really depends, Donna. It really depends. I would have to have your birth chart and look at your birth chart to see where this falls. So let me bring in an example. Let me bring in an example for you all, so you all can kind of understand what I mean, how it's different for everyone. So let me do this. Let me go to, let's do this. So let me open this app. So as you can see, I opened up Donald Trump's chart. And I just want to give you all a visual example so that you'll understand that it's different for it will affect people differently, if it affects you at all. It just really depends. Now let me open up this other chart and lay it on top. Okay. Okay, so now you all can see Donald Trump's chart. Donald Trump's chart is in the middle, and the transit chart is on the outside. So Venus going retrograde for Donald Trump is going to affect him in his ninth house. It's ninth house, and then backslides into his eighth house. Okay. Everyone's birth chart is different. So where it affects you is going to be different. But let's see. Now, he does have Pluto at 10 degrees, so this will potentially hit that, potentially affect him here. But like I said, so this is why it's good for you to know. your birth date, time, location, because like I said, all things are specific. So this will be hitting him in his ninth house. This will be hitting Donald Trump in his ninth house. Okay. So this is a big thing because this is going to be pulling in energy from and connected to the last time Venus was retrograde in Aries, which was March 4th to April 15th, 2017. Okay, so go back to 2017. How was your March? How was your April? What kinds of things were occurring for you? Okay. This is and this is perfect. This is a perfect example. CN1 says her divorce was finalized around March 17th. Venus retrograde. What are you committed to? What's going on with your relationships? Okay. It sounds like this may have been hitting you either in your first house or your seventh house. I'm just taking a guess. Excuse me. This is something that can happen with the Venus retrograde. What are you committed to? Who are you committed to? What's going on in your relationships? Things ending. Like I said, this is going to be the end of a cycle. Okay. When Venus goes retrograde, it's the end of one Venus cycle. So it's ending all those things, ending all those things that happen. So every cycle, Venus goes retrograde every 19 months, give or take. Venus goes retrograde for every time Venus goes retrograde, it's a 6-week period. So between 40 to 43 days. So understanding this, it give retrogrades are times to review things. Your divorce was being finalized. That's a perfect example of that. That's a perfect example. It really truly is. So, Venus is going to re-enter Pisces on March 27th, and Venus will start moving forward again, 24 degrees of Pisces on April 12th. Okay. So remember, this is going to be 6 weeks of seeing what's up. March 1st is Saturday. So this is going to be 6 weeks of reviewing things like, so this is, you know, if you heard me earlier, I said we're going to be beautiful, sexy, and fine for the summer, right? Getting our workouts on. We're going to do it as a community over on my other channel, The Purple Pearl. Venus retrograde. How are you taking care of yourself? What's going on with your beauty? What's going on with your physical body, right? I do things for a reason, right? I do things for a reason. So, this is going to be that time. So again, you have to go and you have to check and see um where where this will fall for you in your chart. Where this will fall for you in your chart. And Mr. Hoodoo is sending me 5 million different reels on Facebook right now. Let me mute my phone. Okay. So this is going to be big. So we're going to see. So when it comes to the news, right, we may see things as it pertains to women, as it pertains to women's rights or no women's rights. We may see things as it pertains to women, feminine energy, rights, um, women who are winning, women who get elected to things, women who are making decisions on things. So we'll see some of that stuff like that. Um, you know. Now, let me turn on the light because now it's dark. Now, part of this Venus cycle, this Venus retrograde, Venus retrograde is going to kind of happen in two phases, right? And I'm going to try not to go too super deep, but phase one is going to be so Venus is both the evening star and the morning star, right? When Venus is west in the sky and the sun is setting, when it's um behind the sun, it's an evening star. So this first phase is going to kind of relax things. That's going to be like March 1st to March 22nd. It's really going to be like asking you to check your habits, check and see what's going on. How do you value things? How are things structured for you, especially in Aries, because Aries is very, very physical. Aries is very, very energetic, right? Then when Venus becomes the morning star, okay, March 22nd to April 12th, that's going to be a new cycle. That's going to be like the rebirth. Venus will have gone through the underworld and will be reborn again as a morning star. So Venus, this is, a lot of this is it's kind of mythos and legend and things like that, but I find it very, very interesting, and I find that it really, really applies to astrology and things that's going on. So remember, Venus retrogrades every 19 months. This Venus retrograde starts on March 1st. It's going to be at 10 degrees of Aries. And by the time Venus stations direct, it's going to be at 24 degrees of Pisces. Now this is going to be a good thing because Venus is what? Venus is exalted in Pisces, okay? Venus loves being in Pisces. Pisces doesn't have any boundaries, right? So Venus can do all of the creative things. Venus can fall in love. Venus can create. Venus can do all of these things because there's nothing there's no structure to kind of rein Venus in. Venus loves it, okay? Again, Venus is exalted in Pisces. Okay, if you know, you know. I'm a Pisces girl. That's all I'm gonna say. If you know, you know. So this is gonna be a good thing. Once you review everything, you review what's going on, you review what you value, you review what you deem worthy. You take a look at your resources, see where you can do better. You take better care of yourself. You review how you treat yourself. You review your morals, your self-esteem. You review all of those things. You're gonna come out on the other side. Things that are supposed to end will end. Okay. You said you plan on cutting your locks Friday. You need a fresh start this year. That's beauty, right? Hair and beauty. Needing a fresh start. That is absolutely probably tied to this Venus retrograde. Your birthday was yesterday? Yes, Pisces Queen. Come through, Pisces Queen. Come through, Pisces Queen. Hey, Fifi. So this is going to be a good thing. This is going to be a good thing. Now, I wanted to show you all. I was looking at some Venus um retrograde news, historical events from 2017, right? So we can kind of look at the um the things that, can occur as it pertains to Venus retrograde cycles. Okay, so let me pull this. Let me pull this in. I'm going to pull this in for us so we can see this is definitely an educational thing right now. This isn't, you know. Okay, so we have this here. Historical events, March 2017. Now, we're talking about Venus. So, Venus things, beauty, women in positions, women's rights, major things happening to women. Let's go through and see. Venus went retrograde on March 4th, 2017. So, and this is just very, very general, right? Venus went retrograde in Aries. Okay, so Venus and Aries. Aries is fire. There were 19 girls killed in a fire at a government-run care center in San Jose Pinula, Guatemala. Venus retrograde. This is Venus retrograde right here. On March 10th, which is my birthday, on March 10th, 2017, South Korean judges uphold the parliament's decision to impeach President Park Geun-hye. This is a woman. She was impeached. This is definitely Venus retrograde. Okay. Now, here's something else. On March 14th, still during the Venus retrograde, the world's oldest golf club in Muirfield, Scotland, world's oldest golf club, Muirfield in Scotland, votes to admit women as members for the first time in 273 years. Venus retrograde. Okay. Okay. Beauty and the Beast live action remake. Beauty and the Beast. Beauty, Venus, Beastie. Okay. Beauty and the Beast. Live action, that's creativity, right? That's creating something. It's a film. hmm Then we have, let's see, March 26th, Carrie Lam is the first woman elected to lead Hong Kong by Beijing Influence Electoral Commission. So Carrie Lam, the first woman elected to lead Hong Kong. Venus retrograde. So we're seeing these things. hmm Okay, we got Ivanka Trump working in her father's administration. We have the UK Prime Minister Theresa May. Okay, invoking Article 50 of the Lisbon Treaty, formally triggering Brexit. Venus is money, value, resources. Okay, headed off by Theresa May. Okay. Then if we move on over to April 17th, let's see, April 2017. Okay, we got the NCAA here in the United States. Okay. Pepsi ad, Kendall Jenner. So this is reviewing. This is reviewing. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. We got this woman in there. Okay. So it was very, very, very much women heavy with these news and events. And this is just some of the things that I found. I'm pretty sure there's more. Um, Pretty sure there's more. So, like I said, just understanding Venus retrogrades, and the types of things that we may see. Now, this year we'll have to see what happens between March 1st and April 12th, 2025. We'll have to see what happens. So I'll be paying attention to the news to kind of bring those things to you after it happens. But yeah, this is a big thing. This is a big thing. So it's feminine energy, what's going on with women, things like that. So now let's go back to the chart. Let me bring the chart back in. Share screen. Okay. So now let me say this. Let me say this. Um, that's just Venus. That's Venus. We have to move on to the Mercury retrograde. Everyone's favorite planet that causes things to run amok. Everyone's favorite planet. Mercury is about to start. Mercury about to start acting up, y'all. Mercury's about to start acting up. So make sure, um, make sure that you make sure that you glue your wig down. Your edges are laid because we're gonna have these two planets. They're gonna be retrograde, and these retrogrades are gonna overlap. So um, where did I put it? Okay. Mhm. Mhm. Pulling things back. Absolutely. Okay. So, like I said, everyone's favorite planet is going to be acting up. So again, glue your wigs down. Make sure your edges are laid. Get you some burn cream together because Mercury is going to be going retrograde. Mercury is going to be going retrograde in Aries and into Pisces as well. So you're going to have two personal planets retrograding in the same signs over almost the same period of time. Send help. Send help. Like send help. Okay? Just just do what you can and just send help. Okay? Now Mercury is, when we're talking about Venus, we're talking about energies connected to creation, creativity, relationships, partnerships, even business relationships, um, commerce, values, things like that, women's issues. And here come Mercury. Mercury, kind of takes sides. Um, Mercury is coming for everyone's edges. And Mercury's pre-shadow period starts on Friday. Mercury is going to enter the pre-shadow phase on Friday, February 25th at 26 degrees of Pisces. So, um, if you are traveling somewhere, just have extra money, have your resources. We all know how these Mercury retrogrades get. Um, yeah, and water and fire from um from a cardinal sign, which is Aries, into a mutable sign. So I want you all to think about how things begin and how things end. Okay. Because cardinal signs are the signs that begin things, they initiate things. The cardinal signs is what gives us the seasons, right? And the mutable signs, like Pisces, like Virgo, right? The mutable signs are when the boundaries get loose. And when the boundaries get loose, that's when the change to something new begins. Okay. So right now, and this is why this is such a big thing because we're in winter now. Okay. We're in winter now. These events are going to be happening from winter and then right before we transition into spring. So literally going to be transitioning things between life and death. That's going to be the energetics of this Venus retrograde and this Mercury retrograde because this is where these energetics are going to be playing out. Okay. Okay. It really is a thing. It really is a thing, right? It really is a thing. So, like I said, these are cycles, right? These are cycles. And when we have things changing and moving, um, it can create havoc. It can create chaos, right? But we're talking about this now. So we'll be fine. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. Um, and this is the first Mercury retrograde of the year. Okay. Mercury is also going to retrograde in June. Okay, June. Stationing direct in August, and then Mercury is going to retrograde for the third time this year, starting on November 9th. So the second Mercury retrograde is going to start on July 17th in Leo, and it's going to move and it's just going to be in Leo. The third Mercury retrograde of the year, because sometimes we have four, we only have three this year, thank God. Mercury is going to station retrograde on November 9th in Sagittarius, and it's going to station direct in Scorpio. So, baby, that's going to be some changes too. Okay, so that's just a head up as far as Mercury retrogrades go. Now, um, yeah, so with Mercury retrograde, you definitely have to plan out um your travel because Mercury is Hermes, Mercury is movement, Mercury is also internet commerce, Mercury is conversation, Mercury is communication. Okay, so with Venus retrograde and then Mercury retrograde, there's a potential for arguments. There is a potential for arguments. There's a potential for miscommunication. There's a potential for no communication. Okay. You may see a lot of this in your personal relationships. Okay. And especially depending on wherever it falls in in your chart. So, it could be so when Mercury is this is gonna hit the mutable signs and the cardinal signs a lot. Okay. If the mutable signs and the cardinal signs a lot. So, just understand that, there may be times where someone may say something and you may want to cuss them out and you may have to refrain from cussing them out, or you just may cuss them out, depending on depending on the vibes, depending on the person. Is your relationship with that person important? Is it valuable to you? So we may be seeing some relationships and we may see some heated words being exchanged. There may be a lot. So I feel like social media during this time may get really, really chattery. There may be a lot of online chatter. There may be more bickering than than usual. But yeah, so it really, really just depends on how this plays out for you. Like I said, my sun sign is mutable. I have a mutable sun sign. I have a mutable rising sign. Please send help to me. Please send help. My Venus, my natal Venus, and my natal Mars. I mean, my natal Venus and my natal Aries. Listen, my placements. My Venus is in Aries. My Mars is in Aries. This is going to be affecting me for real too, especially at the 10-degree point because those are my natal points. So this is going to be affecting me. I'm just going to do what I can to smooth things over. It just is what it is. But yeah, this Mercury retrograde, yeah, yeah. This Mercury retrograde, it I think with it being around the same time as Venus's retrograde, I think that may be um I think that may be a thing. I think that may be a thing. Now, the last time Mercury was retrograde in Pisces and Aries was in 2019. So go back to your 2019 and see how that was for you. Okay. You have to go back to your 2019 and see how that was for you. Think about that. Think about that. You said we're supposed to spread my mother's and husband's ashes. Oh, in Hawaii in September. Oh, oh, okay. I'm so sorry to hear that. I'm so sorry to hear that. I mean, I know it has to be done, but I mean, just take your time and just really, really see how things may go. But just understand there may be, during this time, there are usually a lot of like plane delays, travel delays, accidents. Um, yeah. So, it may not be that bad for you, may be okay, but just do what you can to mitigate. So we're gonna have two retrograde planets conjunct. These are two personal planets, Mercury and Venus. So this will really be affecting and um communication and personal relationships and your community. So, we just gonna hold on. We're just gonna hold on. We're just gonna hold on. So, okay. So let's go back and take a look and see what was happening in March of 2019 and see if we can see anything that kind of lines up with this. So let's 2019. Let me get rid of this. Let me close a couple of windows. Close a couple of windows. Okay, so March 5th, 2019. Let's go look. Okay, let me pull up the dates. Yeah, Mercury is always twerking. Yeah, listen, all the planets are always twerking. It just really, really just depends on um it just really, really depends on what's going on in the world. All these planets are always twerking, honey. They're always twerking, doing something. Um, they always are. So let me stop the screen and let's bring in the other screen so we can kind of see if we can identify some um historical events. You said she's giving me confirmation that she's at peace. Yes, that's what I like to hear. Yeah, she's fine. She good. Your mother, I feel like your mother is good. I feel like she's good. Okay, so let's look at this and see. Let's look at this and see. Okay. Okay. So March 5th, because Mercury is also your communication, Mercury is social media, Mercury is the internet, Mercury is travel, Mercury can sometimes be online commerce, okay, conversations, meetings, things like that. So on March 6th, your favorite friend, Zuckerberg, reveals plans to turn the social media platform into a more privacy focused platform. Okay. Okay. Here we go. Here's a Mercury retrograde. Chinese telecommunications. So we have communications, telephones, internet to sue the US government. Okay, that's definitely Mercury retrograde. hmm Oh, look at this. Power and communications blackout begins in Venezuela. Power and communications blackout begins in Venezuela. Okay. That is definitely Mercury retrograde. The power going out, losing power, losing internet. Your phone dies, your computer dies. You have to get a new phone, you have to get a new computer. Something's going on with your car. You have to take your car to the shop. Um, travel bans, travel slowdowns, accidents, communications. Okay. So this is definitely Mercury retrograde energy right here. Definitely Mercury retrograde energy. Okay. Here we go. Why is stuff happening on my birthday? Okay. Ethiopian Airlines. Let me make this bigger. Ethiopian Airlines flight ET302 crashes just after takeoff. from Addis Ababa, killing all 157 on board. Mercury, movement, travel, air travel, technology, these things. That is Mercury retrograde right there. That's Mercury retrograde. Mm-hmm. Postponing an election after mass protest. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, this is huge, whether people know it or not. Israeli president refutes Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's statement. Israel is the nation state of the Jewish people and only it. Okay, college admission scandal. College admission scandal. This is Mercury retrograde. That's Mercury retrograde. Mm-hmm. That's definitely Mercury retrograde. Okay, remember we had some Venus going on at the same time. So remember her? Theresa May. We were just looking at the Venus retrograde stuff. Oh, she was getting her ass beat. Uh-huh. She suffers a second defeat on the Brexit deal. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So let's see what else, because the Mercury retrograde went into the 28th of March in 2019. So let's see. Oh, I remember this. US grounds all Boeing 737 MAX aircraft. Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah. Yeah. And Facebook removing all these videos of the Christchurch incident. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. These announcements. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just crazy. So if you understand what to look for when things are happening astrologically, you will see the connections. You will see the connection. Okay, announcing a resignation. Yep. Mm-hmm. Walt Disney Company acquires Rupert Murdoch's 21st Century Fox. Uh-huh. Media. Mercury is media. There's internet commerce. Like a lot of our commerce, we live in a very digital world now. A lot of commerce and things are held over digital means. Uh-huh. Yeah. So, we can always see how these things are going, are moving, right? Overloaded boat sinks. Yeah, see? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we can definitely see how things, if you look through history, you can start to correlate things to these astrological events. Okay. So one thing, the last thing that I'm just gonna kind of touch on this really quick, just a quick touch on it, because um when I get into it, it's gonna be, I'm not gonna say it's gonna be super deep, but there's so much information behind this. Um Neptune, the outer planet Neptune, which is a modern planet, which is it's a planet in modern astrology, right? Traditional astrology doesn't really deal with Neptune, but the planet is here. We can't ignore it, right? It's here. So, um, At the end of the month, and tomorrow I'm going to go back and review things in between these dates. But this is something that's huge. On March 30th, 2025, at 4:57 a.m. Pacific time, Neptune is going to move into Aries. Okay? Neptune is going to move into Aries. This is huge. This is huge. This is huge. Okay. And let me just add the chart so y'all can just have a general, just look at the chart. So I want you to take a look at this chart. I want you to take a look at this chart. Neptune is going to move into Aries for the first time in 165 years. I'm going to say that again. Neptune is going to move into Aries for the first time in 165 years. This is going to be huge. This is going to be huge. This is going to be huge because Neptune is going to be in Aries for a long time. See, when we're talking about outer planets, when we're talking about specifically like Neptune, Pluto, these are the two big ones. These changes, these are generational changes. These are changes that begin to reshape humanity, cause catalysts, and bring about change. Neptune is not the only planet changing signs. Okay. And this may cross over into the major things of 2025, the major astrological changes of 2025, but understand that in 2025, Saturn is going to enter Aries. Neptune is going to enter Aries. Uranus is going to enter Gemini. Jupiter is moving into Cancer. The outer planets are making their move. Okay. Pluto finally went into Aquarius full time last year. These are the things that shape and change history. These are the history making changes. Okay. These are the history making changes. And I'm just going to, I just want you all to think about this. Okay. There have been time periods where Neptune was in Aries with some of these planets that are changing into Aries and such and such like that. So I'm just going to touch on a couple times, and I'm a United States citizen. I know Donna is our sister from another mother up there in Canada, but these are pivotal times for the United States. Okay, we are moving into significant and pivotal times for the United States. These things are being activated in the United States chart. Okay. So, I'm just going to briefly touch on the past time periods for you. And this is for you to research. This is for you to research. So, between 1534 and 1547, Neptune was in Aries, along with Pluto in Aquarius and Uranus in Gemini. Okay. Neptune was also in Aries 1697 to 1711. Neptune was in Aries 1861 to 1874. Okay. So I want you to, and you may have to go back and write these dates down, but I want you to go back and look at those dates and see what was happening in the United States. Things that were big, things that were pivotal, things that changed and helped to shape the United States as a country. Okay, this is huge. Once again, Neptune is going to be entering Aries for the first time in 165 years. Okay. Hey, Kevin. Okay, you talking about the planetary procession? The planets are going to be in procession for a little bit. That's more the planets in procession is more astronomy, not astrology, but it's nice to look at. It's nice to look at if you have a telescope. No, not 125, 165 years. Neptune is entering Aries for the first time in 165 years. I want you to think about how society has changed. If you know your United States history, I want you to think about these times. Oh, no worries, Kevin. I want you to think about these times. Okay. And yes, Kevin is correct. Aries is the beginning of a new cycle. Like I said, this is why March is such a pivotal month here in 2025 because you have Venus from going from March to Aries. That's going from winter season into spring. It's going to be, going from winter to spring. Mercury's going to be retrograde from winter into spring, right? These are the changes. Okay, we're going from these are the seasons of change. So when you have planets moving from the mutable signs, okay, where things this is why we're seeing a lot of, I don't want to say decay, but when it looks like things are falling apart, absolutely things are falling apart because baby, it's time for things to fall apart per the astrology. Per the astrology, it's time for things to fall apart because we are in mutable, we're in Pisces energy right now. Okay? Pisces energy. Right now, we have to look at things that must be broken down so that they can be renewed. The question is renewed to what? Okay? This is why it's also huge with the nodes. Okay, you can see the nodes. So this little horseshoe looking one right here, that's the north node. And then, um, this one up here is the south node. Okay. So, and when north node changes sign, it's like the assignment for the collective changes. Okay. So when north node and south node, because they move together, when they change signs, the energetic assignment for the collective, for the world, for humanity changes. Okay. And right now, the North Node is in Pisces. Okay. This is where we're moving to. We have to review things and we have to take a tally of the things that need to be broken down and renewed. And then in the next year and a half, when the nodes move and change again, once the things that have been broken down, then we have to see how can we structure things, how can we build things up, right? So like I've been saying for the past few months, certain things have to happen so that change comes. It doesn't mean it's going to be pretty. It doesn't mean it's going to be pretty. Okay. This is why astrology and history are aligned. We look back and we review so that we can kind of have a heads up on things and energetics of what may potentially come. Okay. So, are there any questions? We're gonna pick this up again tomorrow. We're gonna pick this up tomorrow because, like I said, I really have to get into these eclipses, and I have to get into I have to go deep into this Neptune entering Aries. I have to go deep because these are the things that are happening this March. The Venus retrograde, the Mercury retrograde, the Virgo lunar eclipse, the Aries solar eclipse, and then we have Neptune entering Aries for the first time in 165 years. This is why March 2025 is pivotal. Yes, I'm going to talk about the eclipses. I'm going to talk about them tomorrow because I just we'll be sitting here for another 2-3 hours if I start talking about eclipses and things like that. We'll be sitting here for another 2-3 hours. Okay. I will pick tomorrow in this part 2 of the astrology of March 2025. We're going to go into these eclipses. We're going to go kind of deep into this Neptune energy. Okay. Into this Neptunian energy. And I'm going to talk about the Neptune energy that's coming as well as the Neptune energy that's now. Okay. So that's going to be part 2 for tomorrow. I have to get ready for dinner. So yeah, any questions so far? Yep. Yes, 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 absolutely. March aligns with Aries starting to like I said, I'm a Pisces. If you are a Pisces sun, your zodiac sign, you were born in the winter. You were born in the winter. Okay. So, it's winter here in the northern hemisphere. So, we'll get into that tomorrow. And I may have to just start with like breaking down energies and stuff like that. But we're gonna get into these eclipses and some of this stuff. We're gonna get into it. We're gonna get into it. I'm just so happy that Mars has stationed direct. So yeah. Any questions before I end this? Or if you have questions or comments or whatever, just leave it underneath this video and I will address them. And I'll address them tomorrow. But yeah. Mystery Moon says my son's 24th birthday is tomorrow. My Pisces baby. And oh, well, happy birthday to your son. Happy birthday to your son. I hope he has a blessed day. I hope his new year is wonderful. I hope that he's successful. I hope that he's safe. I hope that he's loved. Okay. I hope that he experiences positive growth. Yeah, all the good things for your son, right? All the good things for your son, right? So yeah, happy birthday. Everyone wish Mystery Moon's son a happy birthday. But yes, like I said, this live stream wasn't a fun one. This is information, right? And I always want you all to have the information because when you have the information, you will better understand what's going on in the world around you. You will be able to understand things and understand things on an energetic level, not just surface level. Okay. So, with that being said, I'm going to get out of here. If you have any other questions or comments, leave them down below. Um, Questions or comments, leave them down below. Um, and I will address them tomorrow, but we're going to have part 2 tomorrow because we got to get deep in this information. We got to get deep in this information. All right, y'all. So I love y'all. Share this with someone who may be interested. Because this is real information here. Share this with someone who may be interested in astrology and then things like that. So I'm gonna see you all tomorrow. I love y'all. Be safe. Have a good evening.